Look at Fina just me beeping it. How much is 100 million? This guy literally called me and say, let's get land, let's build pure water party so that every remuneration that she's getting from the pure water business, she will give it to her parents. This girl has plans. She has plans for her parents, and we are discussing on this thing. And I was seeing on the news that the so-called parent that me and now we are planning together to have for this parent. They already calling her house in the newspaper that she's not dropping anything.
I remember that when we were in primary school, girls used to leave us because of somebody that has a better handwriting, or somebody that can run faster. So if they beat you in a race and you have a girlfriend, just so that you are cooked.
Many of these parents are not ready to work. In fact, I hear of one woman that took a son to go and learn Yahoo so that that boy start giving him. Let me tell you one thing. Took it about Dagba.
It's not any truth. It's not. I think the best thing is for you to be an odaju.
Do you believe the Christian God loves unconditionally? This is Rational Dialogue episode 11. In this episode, we want to quickly look at the video I made 2 years or 1 year ago. And why is it important we have to look at this video at this point? The last couple of episodes, we have been talking about God, relationship, infidelity, etc., etc. And I made a 1 minute 30 second video, about 90 seconds, talking about there's no unconditional love, there's this, there's that specifically speak to all of these things that we have a question. And we think this is the right time. We need to explore the details. We need to look at it. What is it that I'm talking about? Does it relate? How much have we learned beyond that time? And I think you are going to enjoy this conversation for one reason. It's going to take us places that we never thought we were going to touch. It's going to ask really, really deep questions about the nature of our relationship with our parents, with our friends, with our girlfriends, and even more. So if you just stick right there with me and follow through with this conversation, I can promise you one thing. I'm going to deliver on the premise that you are going to learn a lot. You are going to question a lot at the end of this video. My name is Elon Jobs and this is Rational Dialogue. And I have with me in the studio 4 other people, men of rational thoughts that want to look at this topic with me and give us their own thoughts on the subject matter. So I said 4 hard truths that shaped my life. Listen along.
Elonia, these are the 4 hard truths that shaped my life. 1, there are no unconditional love.
Wow.
Don't expect it from your mother, father, wife, sibling, colleagues, pastors, or even God. At the least, the Bible God wants you to believe in Christ before you can make heaven. And if your 5 pillars of Islam are not intact, you will likely not make Jannah.
Okay.
Stop asking your girlfriend to do more than God.
Exactly.
There are no unconditional love.
So that's it. Question 1. There are no unconditional love. Why? Someone corrected me in the comment section and said, it's supposed to be, there's no unconditional love. I was like, okay, maybe. I pluralized because I thought in all forms of love, there is no unconditional love. So, I'm sorry for the grammatical error. I wasn't a student of English. So, pardon me, I studied political science. Josh, there's no unconditional love. Are you asking too much from your girlfriend? Are you agreeing that the kind of love that we have from God is also conditioned or whatever? What's your take? Where can we find unconditional love? Is there a place you can find it?
I think the better way to answer the question will be, do I even love anybody unconditionally? So checking that, introspecting, to be frank. If I tell you, say I love you unconditionally, na bobo, you understand? So at best, I'm only trying to... It's more of poetic license, right? You just create it. It's a fiction, a fairy tale, or it's wishful thinking.
Okay.
Majority of the time, when you hear that this person loves you unconditionally, because in fact, you see, there's a research, right, that was actually done, and they said majority of when the father knows the child is via DNA. At the moment of knowing that, they say huge percentage of fathers, their attitude change. Automatically, upon knowing that, upon that data set, there's like a breach of trust. Although there are some fathers like that they be like, oh, they spend too much and all of that, they do not get paid. Some cause effect, but huge chunk of the time, regardless of the cost, the attitude changes. You understand? There has been that research done.
I even believe that if you have a child and you say you love that child, it's still conditioned the father. It's your child. So it's not as if you love the child that is from nowhere unconditionally. Exactly. It's conditional on your gene, on your on your likeness and all the other thing. But I think John will have a different opinion. I think John will not be agreeing with us on that subject. Unconditional love. True or not? Because I think the Bible says God loves us unconditionally. Because while we are yet sinners, Christ died for us. For He loves all. I'm talking about Psalm. Psalm, is it 95 verse 9 or something?
I think the idea of unconditional love is quite tricky because it looks like something that is unattainable in every.
It shouldn't be unattainable for your God now.
In every instances. For instance, it is easier for us to just attribute that women, mothers, have unconditional love for their children. And to a large extent, if you see someone that can die for the other, it's very likely that we can attribute it as an unconditional love. But at the same time, if you look at the definition of what unconditional means, we can see that it is unattainable. In the sense that if this child is not your child, would you still sacrifice your life for the life of the child? So it brings us to that question of,
is it premised on the condition that
exactly is it premised on that condition? So it's more like an impossible task. Now, like you've asked the question of as in being a Christian, what do I think about God being unconditional? I have seen several instances, even before the New Testament, where we can say God is unconditional and have unconditional love for us, and then the kind of love that He has for us, and blah 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 blah. We have seen the instance of God, even though He loves the Israelites, still punishes them.
Judgment and love doesn't seem to be the same thing. I don't think it equates to be the same thing.
So
you can love and still judge.
Exactly. Now, if you say you love somebody and then you sentence them to death before reaching promised land, it's questionable on how we actually expect unconditional love to look like. So if a mother has if we claim a mother has an unconditional love for its child, and then we see her send our child to death, like condemn the child to death before.
If the child is in extreme pain, euthanasia is something that has been argued in many law, in many law courts, in many cultures, in many civilizations. That is this something we should do when someone is in extreme pain? I think Beatrice do argue for rabies. Is it rabies that you say once you have rabies, once
someone has rabies, the person is going to die definitely.
Attack the immune system or something.
Yeah, once it attacks the central nervous system. You are dead. So, in that situation,
I think that confirms what I'm saying.
Is that not unconditional love? To still go ahead and help that person? I think they call it assisted suicide. Help that person to commit suicide, even if it will mean prison terms for you or something. I don't know.
So, in a case like that, it is very understandable based on our standard of what we can think of as unconditional love. But when it's the case of a loyal servant and then he has been serving you, but because you believe he has committed a sin and then you have a retribution for it, you said he can only see the promised land from afar and then he's going to die on the way. That is, he's going. So
you are talking about Moses.
Yes, I'm talking about Moses now. So it shows that the nature of unconditional love.
Because he struck the rock or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
So the case of unconditional love in the Bible is quite very, very different from
very conditioned
what we think it is. So it is very hard. And if you ask me personally, I would say
in one word, is God's love based on your understanding of the Bible conditioned or unconditional?
Is God love conditioned
or unconditional?
I think it's to a large extent is unconditional. Why did I say that? So even before we give our life to Jesus Christ, which is the metric for going to heaven and all of that, and being able to communicate with Him, He actually loved us, and then He sent His only begotten Son to
die for you. So His love is unconditional. I'm coming back to you, Dan Smith. Unconditional love, practical among women. Is Allah unconditional lover, or what's the case for you from your family? How do you see it? Is it even practical among women beings? Can your girlfriend love you unconditionally? Do you love people unconditionally? And is God loving us unconditionally? Where do you see unconditional love? Is it a practical thing?
First thing first, unconditional love is a fallacy.
Okay.
For every love, there's a condition attached to it. Right. Now let me chip in through the Islamic lens. Allah doesn't love everyone unconditionally.
Good.
There is certain rules, certain condition attached to it if one wants to enjoy Allah's love. Right.
They call it mahaba or something.
Yeah, mahaba. There is, let's say you fail to honor the 5 pillars of Islam. Now, how do you expect Allah to love you unconditionally? How do you expect to enter Al-Jannah? So you see, there's a condition attached to it. Now, let me bring it down to personal relationship, to maybe boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife. Just look at any family where there's an issue. You find out maybe the man is not capable financially anymore, like he used to be. Or maybe his health has deteriorated. Definitely you see there'll be crack on the wall.
In fact, in current time, there seems to be a ongoing trend of, be careful of the woman you want to marry. Pretty face will not help you to solve calculus for your children. Don't marry into poor home. You know, I even openly talk about the fact that I can't marry a woman that I heard the mother die of cancer or the whatever, or they have this health issue, or they're so much in poverty that every day they have to be asking me for money to, they don't have any male figure in their own family that can help them take care of their own male problem. I have to be the one showing up because I married one daughter from their house for their mother and their father. I think all of that are like conditions already set as parameters for me to say I'm picking a wife from somewhere.
So earlier today, I saw a content of before and after. Before, it was an image of one young guy and one girl. They were poor. Then the after, it was an image of where the guy is comfortable. The guy is rich and he bought a car for his wife.
21.
So now somebody was saying on that comment section that this is an unconditional love. Funny enough, under that same post, the lady in the picture dropped a comment. She said she saw the potential in her husband because the guy was an hard worker and she sticks to it. Why? Because he's an hard worker. Which means at the end of the day, there's a condition to it.
That is hard working.
That is hard working. So unconditional love is a fallacy. For every love, there's a condition attached.
I think Betracy will not agree with you. Betracy, what's your take on unconditional love?
So I will disagree with him on the ground that unconditional love is a fallacy. I don't know any formal fallacy in logic that is called unconditional love.
I think it's special pleading. It's,
well, it's technical, but not directly unconditional love.
Exactly.
So,
it's especially when you say my girlfriend lost me unconditional, in this time. So when you are saying something that almost everybody is agreeing is the other case, but you are saying that in your own case it's like this. You are doing special pleading that way. So
but about unconditional love does not make sense between humans. Like it's not practical. It does not make any sense, given that we don't even love something we don't know, we don't have any sensory experience of. Maybe we've not heard about it, we've not seen it, we have no connection, nothing at all with it.
Is that not what the Christian people are asking us to do? To love God unconditionally too?
I think the difference in this case is that at least we hear about God. They tell us that God did this, God did that. We can fall in love with that. People fall in love with fictional characters. So I believe that is possible. But something you've never been in contact with in any way, shape or form, in any sensory way, it does not make any sense. Even things that come out of your mind, possibly you can fall in love with them, but things that's never come out of your mind. So
if I'm getting right, when you say is that things must at least fall under the radar of your conscious reality before you can fall in love, which is already a condition.
So since that's the case, which it shows that unconditional love is so unpractical, unrealistic.
So maybe what they are saying is that after the condition of it falling under the radar of your conscious reality, you can love it thereafter unconditional. Is that what? Maybe that's what
it has failed the first test of conditionalism or non-conditionalism. So we have given it the first condition, which is just the first.
But can we create anything after that? And we say
it is no longer unconditional. Let's find another name for it.
Okay.
That's what I think in this case. To be able to have unconditional, well, maybe
Do you think someone can love themselves even unconditionally? Do you love yourself unconditionally?
The problem with loving yourself unconditionally is that we know we do things to harm ourselves. And we tell ourselves, this thing will harm me, but I will still do it. This sugar will make me do this.
Maybe because you love yourself, you love your pleasure. It's still you.
Which you can we now see that we have several aspects of ourselves. Okay, which is, do I love my future self more than my current self? Or do I love my current self more than my past self?
It's still you.
A window of me. So.
All you, my brother. All you.
Loving yourself unconditionally is still not very realistic, given that the attention you give to different version of yourself. We still show that, I chose this because this is current me.
Because you on the condition that you want your future to be better.
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
So I could have been unconditional.
Doing
so
something.
If you are to love yourself unconditionally, that means you do everything that yourself wants you to do right now.
That your current self wants you to do right now. That like you will do everything to favor your current self. I think that's what's practical if you are going to be...
No, not practical. I think that's what it's
going to be. That's what's going to be the case if you are going to be unconditionally loving yourself.
Okay.
But now it's already a condition given that it is yourself. Which is, the condition has to be myself before I start loving it. So
I think the real problem is about the unconditional thing.
The unconditional is the word. Because if to achieve unconditional love now, all we need is...
Because even unconditional is a condition.
Exactly. That's the what do we call that? Ironic part. That's the paradox of it.
Of unconditional.
I think to achieve unconditional love, maybe we need
Is it a condition of unconditionality?
Yeah, even if we are
unconditional is a condition.
Because I have to manufacture an existence that is all knowing, all conscious, and everything. That everything is in its consciousness, and it decides that no, I'm going to love everything by default. Now, the fact that you are loving everything unconditionally is a condition to your love, and then we are in we are in a rabbit hole of some sort.
But John is insisting on something. He's insisting on it's God. It's like 80% loving unconditional. Is that all? How many percent are you giving? Because to a large extent. What extent?
What I mean by to a large extent is the extent, like an example that we can see is the mother version. That even if a child beats your nipple, you still continue to feed him and all of that. So it is on that basis, like Beatrice have proven, and we have actually come to realize now. But it's not just now. I've been even saying it earlier. It is unrealistic. The word itself is unrealistic.
Are you saying it's beyond the scope of our understanding, or you are saying it's unrealistic?
I'm saying it's typically
because it's
unrealistic.
Because if you are grounding in naturalism, like you are grounding in natural logic, we can say it's
to the scope of what we understand is unrealistic.
Okay.
Yes.
But do you believe your God loves unconditionally? It's a question. Do you believe the Christian God loves unconditionally?
If you are removing
it's a simple yes or no. Do you believe your Christian God loves unconditionally?
The thing is, I've said yes earlier. Okay. So if I'm going to say anything otherwise or not, I have to put context to it.
Okay. So that means you believe the Christian God loves unconditionally.
And I have to put context to what I have said earlier.
It's a simple yes or no. Do you believe the Christian God loves unconditionally? Don't let us go back and forth on this. It's a simple yes or no.
In the definition that we have given today.
Yes. Do you believe
since I even believe that it is not possible, it's not realistic, I don't believe it.
Oh, you don't believe the Christian God loves?
I don't believe it.
Okay. So, but the Bible is saying that the Christian God is an unconditional lover.
And I think I still have to do some research on
they call it agape love.
On the agape love thing.
So you don't have a full understanding.
So
no, okay, let's get it clear. John 3:16 said, "For God so loved the world as gave his only begotten son." Whatever. Is it the world that God loves or people? Does God love the world or love people?
Well, there is no express place where God actually distincts the love he has for both. Maybe he loves the world more. So there is no actual place where it is really tangible to say God loved the world more than the people, or the people more than the world. But there are some cases that we can highlight.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we already know that in the Bible there is a demise that is going to come to the earth. That is, the earth will be destroyed. and then there will still be human beings, at least in heaven.
That's not the case. So there's going to be a new earth and a new heaven. That's what the argument was. That.
And then there's still going to be people.
And even many theology, many school of thought believe fundamentally that the new heaven and it's still the same earth. It's just that it's eradicate of people. And then if you are arguing that God are placing the world and people on the same scale, remember that
I'm not saying he's placing it on the same place. I'm just trying to figure out if there's actually a place that he said it expressly that perhaps he loved the earth more than the people or the people more than the earth.
But you can see in action, God eradicated all the people of the earth with flood, leaving only Noah that seems to...
the fact that
he seems to work the formula, that seems to play within the premise of the constitution.
He left some part of human and then he left the world too. So he destroyed the earth in that instance too. So he destroyed both humans and the earth.
I want to get this clear. If God is saying that people are destroying earth, and because of that, you want to eradicate them, you want to kill all of them.
I don't think he said. I'm not sure.
Is it because earth that is more important or the people? Because let me be clear. What happens is that God looked forward to destroy earth. Then he found Noah. You can read that passage very well. He found Noah worthy. So he's more concerned. To me, I think, I don't know if somebody else agrees with. To me, he's more concerned about preserving earth rather than the people, because it seems that the people are the pests on the farmyard.
If you are flooding the earth of everything and killing everything, because without Noah, all the animals would die. So there's no preservation of earth. He's destroying earth equally. Like as much as he's going to destroy human being, he's destroying earth too. And then of what actually played out, he destroyed both and then leave some part of them, because the earth was also destroyed to a large extent before he started replenishing and then start having seed and start bearing fruit. Just like humans too, most of them die, and then the ones that are left,
the Noah
and his family member
that were playing by the rule,
and then repopulated earth. So it is more like that.
It's more like that.
So I've not seen anywhere that is expressly like God love earth more than.
But no, it's crystal clear in 3:16 now that for God so loved the world. You don't say for God so loved people. You said for God so loved the world.
Sorry. But let me ask a question there.
Which is
that God so loved the world that gave his only begotten son. But it's the people that this begotten son ended up dying for. So we shows that even the world in this context is, if we remove the people from this world, the world is not going to stand in that context.
There's the Bible fast. You correct me if I'm wrong. That if heaven and earth pass by,
his word will not pass.
Will not. So what are you talking about? Is God loving? Is God loving people? Because I remember from Genesis, he said, and God created it, and so it was beautiful.
It was good. Yeah,
it was good. Yeah. It was without people there. Even by the time I was seeing that, it was good.
The thing is, in Christian theology, we look more like he created even man with his word. So
he created every other thing with his word too. Now it
will link back to the people that you're talking about. Right now you're trying to talk about the supremacy of. He likes the word, his word more than almost everything.
Well, is it his word? I thought it's the word.
Word. No, it's right now he's niching it to word.
I thought it was the word. Sorry.
No, initially
it
was the word. You understand? But now later the current verse is like his word, even more important than word than people. Then I'm not saying that even the Christian theology to even still link back
to the people. Fact that I get that part.
That his word, that the people are subset of his word. They came from his word. So it still makes sense to see, for them to say in Christian theology, for them to actually say that.
And the word is also passed. So the question is that which one does he love the most?
The people are not independent of his word. They are a creation of his word.
But you destroy them in several instances.
Whether or not, they still remain. It's still perpetuated.
Okay, now you are arguing for the large extent, right? How many percent of humanity are Christians? Even we say all Christians are going to go to heaven or are going to be saved. How many percent are Christians of the world are Christian?
No, they are not up to 50%.
They are not up to 50%. As if you can establish that. So if more than 50% are going to be destroyed in hellfire, do you still believe that God loves people unconditionally to a large extent? I understand the fact that you're even saying in absolute sense. That's what I want to know your unconditional. What extent is your unconditionality?
To the extent of my unconditionality is the fact that God does not. You do not have to be in accordance to God before He loves you.
How?
Because He has sent His child to us even before we are in accordance to Him. Like it's not like we are living the life that He wants and then now send His child to. No. It's because He has sent this child because we are not old and then we need physician and then He sent His physician to come and fix us and something like that. So that is the extent of the unconditionality that is there. That if I'm ever saying that it is unconditional.
Okay.
So and I think the way we use this word generally, we use it almost every time. Like if you go to the word now and then say, this guy love me unconditionally, they will not say you are saying bullshit, most likely. They will try to understand what you are saying as there's a way that they will peg, there's what they will peg it at. That is maybe this person has stayed with you through thick and thin and all of that. It is not because there is no ID that person likes. So if you are taking it to this highest level, and which is actually the proper definition, really, there is no way we can establish that God is loves unconditionally. But in this manner of way that we usually use the word.
No, I get all of that. So now let's take it to the final blow, which is when God say, this thing, I will destroy who I will destroy, I will save who. Is that still expressing unconditional love? I think God is choosing parties like that. Is there? Because you are claiming that He loves us even before you are saying if He's not to save us, But the same Bible is claiming that I will for you are my choosing generation, blah blah blah, and then I will love who I will love and I will destroy. Which part of the Bible is that?
I have mercy on you.
I have mercy and I will destroy those who I will destroy.
Does that constitute the part that can...
Does that constitute the loving us even before we choose? Because He has definitely decided who is going to choose and those who is going to have mercy on.
I think the part...
And then don't forget, before you go ahead and defend, you remember that even Christ Himself, the so-called physician that you said the same, has credited the fact that there are some sins that are unforgettable. One of these is the sin against the Holy Spirit, the sin of blasphemy. So, when you stack up those things, do you see any form of loving us even before we choose there?
Do I see any? No, of course.
What do you mean?
Now, what you can actually fault is the fact that do you have a chance? Do you really have to give a fuck now? Because it does not even negate the unconditional. It's still actually defending it. The fact that perhaps it has even choosing these people that He love unconditionally from the start before you even come to this. That is what it proves. It doesn't even prove that maybe He doesn't.
And He has choosing the people that doesn't love unconditionally.
So that part, what you are saying? That part. Wait. That part is the part that I'm still looking for. Really? No, I've been thinking about this part. This loop. I've been thinking about it for a very long time, and I'm trying to look for answers to it. Really, the part of. Do I really need to continue to do anything or it is already settled? So okay. I would admit to not knowing enough in that scope, really.
But when you are defending him now, you don't say you don't know enough. So Dan Smith, this guy is going back and forth and saying things. Now, you believe that Allah is not in the business of unconditional loving. Is it fair on thinking that your girlfriend should love you unconditionally? And what does that even mean? Now, because we already see that in real proper sense, there's nothing like somebody loving you unconditionally. But we often tend to demand this unconditional loving from different camp of people. Right? So, especially, in relationship, in romantic relationship, because I remember in the context I was saying something like that, don't ask too much of your girlfriend, things that God cannot even do. What do you think that unconditionality will look like for in a romantic relationship? Or you are not the type that asks your girlfriend to love you unconditionally? I
believe in response to what Bitesi said the other time, you said he does that maybe he's not aware of where any fallacy like unconditional love. When I said it's a fallacy, what I meant this was in the literal meaning of fallacy. That is false belief. That's what I meant, not in that kind of fallacy.
The technical, not
in
in
those
the technical sense.
technical and logic, all those fallacies. All those, talking about the real literal meaning of fallacy.
Okay, we get it.
So now back to the question of me asking my girlfriend to love me unconditionally. I know it's not real, so I won't demand it.
So you don't demand. You're not the type that say, "Oh, my girlfriend must love me unconditionally. If she doesn't love me unconditionally, you must love me through thick and thin."
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
So if
I've been in a couple of relationships, right? And the last one I had, she used to tell me, I used to ask her, "Why do you love me?" And she said, she loved me because she believes I'm smart and other qualities too.
You are smart, you have dick, you have nice face, you do this,
Other nice qualities.
Very dark, nice man.
Other nice qualities. So
I used to buy shawarma up and down and all of that.
I don't know about that one.
You do transfer.
So there's a condition in all those loving, right? So I don't demand for unconditional loving.
So now, here's the question I would like to, before I move to someone else. So what do you say like that? Top 3, top 4 conditions you think are okay for a woman to have of you? Like that it's okay, you know. If she doesn't exceed, if somebody expects you to have a car, have a house, have this one, you say it's too much. But what are the conditions you think, a woman is fair enough for a woman to demand of a man, from your own lens? What do you think?
For a woman to demand of a man, or for a man to demand of a woman?
No, for a woman to demand of a man. I think it is fair enough. Since you think it's not unconditional, a woman is not. What are the conditions you think is fair enough?
Is it financially okay?
Okay.
Maybe some ladies might not be able to say it out loud, but I think that's majorly one of the things they should look out for.
I strongly believe there is no romance without finance. It's the truth of the situation. So financial, what else?
There's no romance without finance. The other part is health-wise.
Okay.
Is he healthy?
You don't want to be carrying poo-poo up and down.
Absolutely. And the third one will be...
Most girls don't want to admit that they want a guy that's smarter than them. But do you think, that should necessarily be a condition? Your boyfriend is smarter than you?
Sometimes.
I don't think that's necessary. Yeah.
You don't mind it? You think it's okay for...
To some people, so to some ladies.
No, I'm talking about you now. To some people. Do you think it's okay for a woman to expect you to be smarter, richer, healthier?
Definitely.
What else? That one? So, Josh, what do you think? Unconditional love. Is it something that's, in a romantic affair? She should love me, whether I'm I think ladies used to ask this question. If I turn to a mosquito, will you still love me? If I'm a
worm.
If I'm a worm, will you still love me? If I'm a tortoise, will you still love me?
Before the do, yes, I will love you. But after show is after a party. I forget it. Like I said earlier.
This guy is scammer.
He's Zobo. Right? It's Zobo. Those are things that, in the heat of the moment, they can fly. Okay. But when we come back to real world, they are not the case.
Okay.
They are not the case.
So
because in the first place, she saw me and then she felt, okay. Maybe she sees
so what's expected of a woman? What do you think
she should expect?
Yeah.
I think he answered most of it. Financial security is very important.
So it's just standard practice for a woman to
it's standard practice. Almost, in fact, and the fact that, you should be able to.
So what you guys are saying to broke guys that broke guys don't deserve no pussy. I know that's right.
It's not inhuman. It's more like natural for them to really say, they want to everybody cannot have access to it. So what's the meter to it? I say part of the meter is how much you can exchange for it. I think it's an unspoken grammar.
These people are too financially motivated. They want all women to be interested in money. Women are capable.
Sorry, before you move to Beatrice, I would like to chip in something.
I will chip in something, please.
So the idea of broke guys don't deserve no pussy. If a guy is broke temporarily,
you can still give him pussy. Is that what you are saying? No. Talk like an adult. Fast. Let's get to the point.
Let's say a guy is broke temporarily. he can still give you pussy.
I owe you.
Okay.
On credit.
Okay.
And
really wanted to expand on that part
coming.
before this.
Wait, I'm not all about the money. I just when after money. To be frank, it's currency. I'm talking about currency. So health, like you said, is also part of it. You know, the agility, the you understand what I mean?
Shotgun Kelly. I mean, you know is the other guy.
I don't understand what you mean.
We don't understand, but we know that there's boo. There's Arnold Schwarzenegger that you are describing. What happens with the Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I'm talking about the fact that there's a part of the reason why people marry is the fact that they want to actually give birth. You understand? So you know the biological experience that leads to giving birth. So the birth should be healthy enough to actually procreate as well. At least, this guy should be able to
how does the woman find out that?
And when they find out otherwise, to be frank, I really don't.
Okay, when they find out otherwise,
I don't think it's out of place for people to.
I get that.
To change to switch IP. Maybe they want to really go for someone. I really don't think it's out of place.
Okay. So, Tracy, what are you saying?
So
unconditional love is variety within relationship is also unattainable. So what?
So I love the standards they set, but about the financial part, I think that this thing is about level. I remember that when we were in primary school, girls used to leave us because of somebody that has a better handwriting. That's true. Somebody that has a better, even apart from pencil, somebody that has a better, what do we call this stuff? Somebody that can run faster. So if they beat you in a race, you know that you have a girlfriend, just so that you are cooked in that situation.
It needs, whether you are neat to class,
those are grounds. Those days. So I realized that at the end of it, it's just like a cumulative of all these things or whatever the woman leans to more. So I'm okay with all these things. But about the financial part, there's another part too that we should not ignore, which is the fact that some women feel like, this is a good stock. If I carry it now, it will go 100x. And some people know that this is like a very good stock, but it has already peaked. So those are considerations. So it's not, when you talk about the financial part, it's not that direct that the person that has more money, she should go for that. No, not necessarily.
So there are permutations and combinations.
What's the potential for this and this and that. So those are there too.
The angle of elevations, whether the chart is going up or it's coming down.
There. So and women know how to do all this, and I don't think it's a problem if they are doing all their plotting of the graph and everything.
Not all women.
Unconditional lover. What do you think? Women should love their husband unconditionally. Women, submit to your husband as Christ. How do you put that word? Women, submit to your husband as the Christ head of the church. So is
I think unconditional, we have actually trashed it out now. So
no, you still believe your God is unconditional lover. I just highlighted all the places that he is unconditional for you. So it's up to you to go and do your research, because you say you want to do your research on the subject. Do you now think that form of unconditional loving translates into, Christian relationships? You see, is it premise on unconditionality?
No, we have established that.
I see modern pastors preach about, the fact that, the guy must have sense. He's not there on this thing. He's not fine face that you use to run your family, blah, blah. I think modern pastors are more condition based when they are talking about marriage.
Yes.
And I don't know what you want to. You might think many of those pastors are wrong. You might think they are saying the truth.
To me, personally, if you are going to marry anybody, I think you should try as much as possible to think about yourself first, because it is you that is going to live into.
For a fact, it's already clear that if you want to love someone, at least it's primary on the condition that they are alive. If you don't want to, I don't know whether they do to marry the people that are dead. It's already promised on the condition that they are alive. So let me know what are the conditions that you think.
So first is you should know the kind of relationship you want, and then how you plan to live your life. That matters a lot. If you are the kind of person that wants to be lovey-dovey and then be with your husband 24 or at least 8 hours a day and something like that, you know the kind of guys that you have to go after. You know that it is a guy that is 8 to 5, 9 to something kind of guy that can actually give you that kind of attention. So the most important thing is to structure your life. Look inwardly, like how exactly do you think you want to live your life? And then which kind of guy can actually allow you to achieve such life? I think that's the best advice that I can give.
Okay.
To be giving you that you should look for the guy that is tall, look at that heavy,
That and handsome, has a car, has 3 houses.
because many things have their there's nothing that is circle and complete. I don't know if you play PS and then you see a player, you see that it has strength, it has stamina. In defense, it will be low. In attack, it will be strong. And then if you see that kind of diagram, you understand what I'm saying. But for women, most of them don't play PS. But again, nobody have it all round. You cannot have all of this money and then have all of the time at the same time, and then even be willing to stay with you every time, even if he has time, even be willing to stay with you. So you cannot get everything, which is why you have to decide on which part of it do you want, and then who can actually provide what you want for you.
Yeah, thank you for that. So let's go to the second point that we have here.
2. Be polite but say no. Learn how to say no. Before they ask you to pay for an abortion, you do not partake in its making. I'm not making this up. It happened to my brother's friend. Saying no is not a sin. If you allow too much, people will drain you out of money. Jealously guide your time, your resource and attention. If you make yourself available for free, people will take you for granted.
Learn to say no. I'm more interested in context where people tend to just go ahead and say, oh, it's my family member, it's my friend. I can't do. I remember I once have a friend, the girl asked me that, can she stay in my house? Then I rented a 3-bedroom apartment. And I said, okay, we are not staying there. Come and stay. So this girl, her boyfriend bought her fridge. One of our siblings or something like that, or one family member, somebody's son, sick. This girl sold her fridge to save the baby. Later, she and her boyfriend fought. The guy is not married till now. So now, what point do you say no? Especially family members that just come every month, want to be you, friends that you don't have limits. What point do you say no? What's your take on this saying no? Me, I fundamentally believe we should say no quite more often. But I don't know. Maybe you don't agree with that.
Material complex is the reason why we really want to say yes all of the time. It's because that we believe that we are a superhuman and then we can actually really just be what people want us
Operation
to be.
Save the Day.
Operation Save the Day. I'll give you an example, right? I wanted to drop out of school. And I just texted everybody that day that I'm dropping out. Then my sister called me. Then, because, I used to have this vibe of the fact that, I'm this pro education. Go to school.
Be Joshua, ESQ.
I got admission into university before many of them. So they was like, okay, be Joshua, ESQ.
ESQ.
So I said I was dropping out. I texted everybody. And my sister called me. She was crying. And she was saying that, she will drink otapia, this, that. That thing got me at that point, right? I'm already trying to be a rogue. But that got me at that point. Don't take otapia. If you take otapia, you take it for yourself. I just had to do that. I was almost regretting that. Is it a good thing that I'm actually dropping that? That was 2019. Next year, August. It's not even up to a year. My sister got married. You know that the sister that said me I should not drop out and focus on the business that I was trying to do. You understand? It was even from that business that we were able to buy Jeep and then we used to take ourselves to the wedding. So you see, to the degree that your own survivor is number one, to be frank. Right? It's you that you survived, that you are financially stable, that you are good enough for the society.
Exactly.
That can be useful to the society. Tyler Perry talked about it, in terms of a boat. That number one, before you can save other people, you have to be able to even survive first. Then you can now send the boat. If you are already offshore, you don't need the boat. Then you can send it so that it can help people that are there. But you are still fighting for your life.
I noticed this thing, especially people that move to Lagos or move to bigger cities. They tend to they tend to take on their brother, take on their in-law, take on their this thing. They just bring people and they themselves are still living in one room apartment. They are still struggling.
I think what they are trying to do is to subsidize. It's not the fact that they don't know that, maybe they are not up to it. But the fact that for them to have the thick skin to deal with the pressure. The pressure is real. They'll be calling you, guilt feeling you, and all of that. Their inability to really deal with that. And the fact that, okay, I think there's even a real pressure. In fact, let's say the parents, your parents are of age, and you really don't want them to die, as though you are the one that will control.
And the funny part, you want them to have your granddaughter,
see your granddaughter and all of that. And you feel, you remember now, when our dog, they said our dog was having issue. We didn't attend to the dog. And when the dog died, I remember that day, even as much as I'm really not much of a fan of
a dog.
Dogs and go. We felt somehow like, the dog died. So I think people are trying to avoid that. That's why they often fall for the pressure of trying to subsidize. Even when you know that you are not even yet okay for the society, you are not the best version of yourself, that you see that you are supposed to invest in your future. That's what you are trying to use to
in my comment section, when I posted that video, I think many people were telling me that, if you have experienced your parents dying before, you know that even if you collect 70k, you should be able to give them 20k out of it. You should be able to do that. I see people dropping all those kind of comments, and I see that, they are not getting the picture that the 70k and the 20k they remove from it does not really save their parents. If your parents are going to die early, they might die even before you suck their breasts for the first time, even before you enter primary school. So I don't think it's your 20k or your 50k or your 10k that really save your parents. You are just consoling yourself with the fact that you are able to give them that 10k or you are able to give them that 5k. But I think the pressure, you are right.
The pressure is you, right? And you are in Nigeria.
Dan Smith has a story of saying no. What do you think?
Generally, I believe saying no is a vital survival skill. Right? If you, my mom used to say something. She used to say, Emma Kuno, like,
don't be silent.
Don't be silent. Don't just take everything. So if somebody said, I have 10,000 naira, and the person said, please, can you loan me 2,000 naira? And I look at this situation and I say, if I didn't give this person this 2,000 at this point in time, it's possible this person might sleep with hunger. And might develop ulcer, as the case may be. So I say, okay, let me borrow this person 2,000 naira. Now, the next day the 2,000 naira is gone, and the person is still hungry. Still needs another 2,000 naira. The person comes to me again, bro, I need 2,000 naira more. And I give. How much do I have left? I have 6,000 naira left.
In 5 days, you'll be done. It's your 10,000.
So the third day too, the Mr. Hunger still come again. Say, bro, walk no shoe.
Don't worry, in 5 days.
And I give you 6,000 naira. I'm left with 4,000 naira.
In 5
Before
days,
university will come again, I will be left with nothing.
It's just 5 days. Monday to Friday, you are done with your 10,000.
Exactly. Your 10,000 naira is gone. So learning how to say no is very, very important. Because at that first instance, say, no, me too, I'm guiding. I don't have. Of course, I still have my own use me. It's not with you any longer. It happened to me recently. There's one woman along our junction over there. I was going another day and I met her that day. She was like, my son, that should help her. She's hungry. And I have 2 500 notes and I give her one that day. What I noticed at that point, I knew that if I'm coming here tomorrow, I'm not giving this woman 5 naira. Because when she turned, she brought out one this thing where she tie money. And the money with this woman that day is much more than what me I had with me.
That's my exact story. Like, that's my exact story. Because when I was very young, I think I was in GS1, and my mom used to give me, was it 14 naira then to school. So, and then there was a day, I think I give all these bara people. I gave
beggars, all these beggars.
And then I was coming back again. I was coming back another day. This day, I don't have any money. I was broke. I was hungry. Then I got to that point again. I said that this guy has money in his own where they used to all these buckets to keep money. So it was ridiculous that. So me, I'm the dumb guy that is now giving you money. Me that I don't have money.
Let me hear from the expert on this subject matter. BJC.
The interesting thing is that all these things that they have described is so funny that the day I learned about it, the way I learned about my own is funny because
there's a phrase that me and you have on this subject matter. We have a phrase.
Okay. The person that is giving, that is not saying no. The person that does not know how to say no is the one that, let me say it in Yoruba, And he told Theo Motaje so no, big. The meaning is that person that entered the masquerade cloth.
So for people that don't understand, Egunu, when they go look big gunu. So Egunu is a masquerade, is a what do they call those masquerade things? They call them
the masquerade. Just a masquerade.
Yeah, it's a masquerade. Let's put it that way. It's a dirty, dirty, but it's masqueraded. Yeah. So it's the foolish person that we say that we allow them to say, "Oh yeah, give me the masquerade clothes. Let me be the one to carry it this year."
When the another person is collecting the money.
When the other person is collecting the money.
So people are collecting the money.
And is this Igunu that they will be flogging?
They will be flogging the Igunu. That's the worst part. They will flog the Igunu. They will do everything. Igunu will be doing.
The Igunu will ask them, "How much did we make?"
Our light analysis is money. Nobody.
These people are just hyping you. They're not dropping money.
So don't go Gunu, So
the funny thing is that when we were in Abuja, we were like trying to exchange money because we had to attend the wedding. And my dad was like, he has to change all this money because when he gets to that wedding ground, there will be a problem. So he was like, when will we change money? Then the driver was like, no, he knows a place. And then it was this beggar people's place. And these people were literally changing money for us.
In thousands of nairas. And now they add everything like to 200 because they have collected money from so many different people in different. And they are collecting cost for changing money for
them. They are collecting charges for changing money because we are not giving them money. If you are giving them money, it's different. But in this case, they are changing money for us. So it's a business model.
Transaction. So they know how to do business.
They know how to do business. They know how to collect money from you for that. So
they know how to collect
the fact that I saw how much money these people have collected that day, I need to know it's not a good thing. But like me going to give them is a waste of money. But the funny thing is that if you don't know how to say no to even those beggar people, I know somebody that was telling me that she used to feel guilt-tripped if she's trying to, that's why she does not like traveling to Lagos or something like that. That if she's in the car, somebody will be telling her this, that, and she will feel bad about it. She will have to end up giving the person,
what's a big gunu?
What exactly? That person has carried a gunu.
You have successfully carried a gunu. You are the gunu bearer for this year.
The funny thing is that the day I tested that hypothesis to the fullest was the day when I was in a cab to from Niger State to Abuja. And the funny thing is that man was praying for me. It was beside me throughout. Then when the car was about to move, the man was like, I then bounce on that time. I don't even know the guy was doing that because I thought it was an Hausa guy that I was begging for him. He has prayed in different languages. Then he was like, I then bounce on that time. Because he knew me, I was Yoruba. I spoke Yoruba.
I think some of your Isheshe people used to do that too. They used to do gulu at Kapas.
They say, Adumade, brother me, leave me alone.
So it's not, no, now don't just say, you will not interact with them. That you will just leave them alone. That they should just keep doing their own. Tell them go away. That's what I'm recommending. That's what
you're saying. Don't try to manage it. Don't try to manage it.
Don't try to just stay with and say, oh, I will just stay with them. No, tell them no. There was a child that ended up dating my shirt that day in Iwo Road. That day I was so angry. I wanted to slap the boy because I was wearing that white. I was wearing a white hoodie, and then the guy was following me. I did not tell him go back. I did not say anything. The guy was following me. Then at some point, the guy just
drag you,
and then my
bros, not money. Not money.
Like if I reacted the way I wanted to react, I was going to slap the guy. So instead of getting to the point where I will have to slap the guy, I realized that immediately I see them do something, just go away. Go. Don't mind what people think. It's not their business. Everybody is doing business. Those people too are doing business.
Have you been to say Iwo Road or even Computer Village before? And those guys that are these sales people, they are telling you, they are calling you with all this. Come buy from me, and you feel compelled to go at least. Now person they try market. Let me do PT buying. You understand, for this person. And the moment you try not to look their side, they don't call another person. Then they will not say, "So I'm a pawn."
Exactly. You are not the most important element.
Here's where it's interesting. It's easier for most people have got the message from out there that external people, your strangers, blah blah blah. Another thing I noticed that staff members, if you notice staff members, if you over prioritize staff members and all of that, we used to run last is last, and then we have suffered from it. We have learned our lesson. So I noticed that one day we staff members, you have learned. But here's the one that I have a particular interest in is the African culture. I was listening to Kanayo on podcast on the Jonas Bond podcast, and he was saying that in African settings, your parents don't have any pension fund, they don't have social security. So, and I fundamentally believe that your children are not your social security. They are not signed up for that. They are better client where parents will set up, years of, and then remembering that. He was making a point, which is that Afrocentrism, like, okay, if you think of Africa, it is okay for you to say children should, cater for the welfare of their parents. But there's nothing like Afrocentrism anymore. We are living a global economy. It's clear. As much as I have KitKat competing within Nigeria, competing within Africa, it's competing with Shopify,
exactly.
WooCommerce, competing with FC, blah, blah. There's several solutions out there. Big commerce, And that means that the child of someone that is in Nigeria, in Africa, that doesn't have parents that back him up, has to compete with child of someone in UK, in US, where they have set up $10,000 for that guy, for that entrepreneur, every month. For him to say run ad, for him to convert customers, for him to make the platform cheaper, for him to build solution faster, for him to. So if my parents are seen now, that's why the fact that I don't have all these advantages, which I be like, that is 1-0 already. They are still now waiting on me to provide for them now. Again, while I'm still struggling in that struggle, that's 2-0.
2-0.
Now, and that means that with all these 2-0 already, I'm still lacking the infrastructure to now even cater for my own children. That's 3-0 already. Because they have social security and everything like that. So, that's where I'm trying to grind. That Africans are not recognized that we are living in a globalization. And as such, children no longer have to bear the responsibility of what governments fail to provide. Or what the settings play to. We cannot keep grinding our Afrocentrism on those children. It's the game have changed. So that's what I'm more particular about, because it's easier for you to see among friends and say, I've stopped playing that game. That takers will continue to take if you don't set a limit. But what about parents that are still grinding in their African thinking? John was saying something the other day that what's it called? That Yorubas and Africans used to have the culture of giving resources to their children and blah blah. I was not giving him the reputer that No, the mistake you are getting is that we used to believe that, we do believe that, not even used to, we do believe that once Okete, what's Okete? Push rat, what do you call it? African giant rat. Once Okete have grown, it starts sucking his children's breast or our children's breast, which translates to the fact that once you are old enough, your parents have to rely on you. That's the thinking of Africa. So that's why the fact that they used to provide resources for their children before now. Now, children are quickly manifesting resources far richer than their parents. Although it doesn't mean it can complete globally. That's what I'm saying. And because of that, they easily translate that resources to mean that they can now start relying on you. Because it has always been the DNA of the African thinking. Now, my own particular question here is that, where does that fall in this idea of saying no? Can we say no to our parents?
I think.
Is it fair to say no to?
I think we really need to.
And I need to contest. I not just parents. Some siblings have that mindset too. My brothers now have one car, one house, and this thing, a camera, and some people. So it means that I start backing on him for every month, right? And all of that. So how do we Dandy? What is the point you say no? Do you just welcome every of your siblings that is asking for money? Do you just welcome monthly salary for your parents? Do you still welcome? What's the point? Where do we? I remember they were calling us FINA. FINA parents were calling publicly to know how much African parents really are imbued with this mindset that you owe me something. Do we owe them something? Should we say no?
I think we need to have some actually tough conversations. Which is what we are really avoiding. We really need to tell our parents to their face that what you are asking for is narcissistic. Well, I know there are parents that are sick and all of that. Maybe there's, I don't know how to handle that one. To have to tell your sick parents, actually bedridden one. I don't know about that. But for able parents.
Some of them will even be cursing you.
And for Ebu one,
no, and even the sick ones, they will causing you that they are in pain. All of a sudden, as if you are the one that caused it. I get it. I'm not saying that for the kids that could not provide, some of them are in depression just because they couldn't provide for that. Those are sick parents. The ones that could provide are actively taking all their seed, all the seed they're supposed to plant for the future. They are investing in their sick parents.
Like the course must actually stop at a particular point. If you notice, even the thing, it pervades even our national scope. You notice every president, the idea of subsidy thing, all of them, because it will impoverish people, maybe even temporarily or whatever, for whatever reason, they stop it. They know it's a necessary thing to do. But most of the time, we don't get to do that. We don't get to hand this. We don't get to hand everything that we know is not sustainable. So it's a big problem. And this one is one of it. That, okay, we know it's not sustainable. The fact that it's not that we give you money right now is the problem, sir. The fact that we have to give you next tomorrow, I have to give you next month is a subscription.
Many parents are in hunger. They don't have food.
Is a subscription. It has happened to me before. That's why I say I think we really need to look at it as acting about the acting. And the acting about the acting is that they are not easy answers, right? You see, one of it is you have a brother. He needed a job.
He needed money.
What did you do?
I gave him job.
You gave him job.
Yes,
not even like job, like to make sales. You understand? And then he was able to even make money than almost everything. I think that's a productive way to go about it. When B. Tracy reached out to me that I really don't want to leave Abuja and all of that, blah, 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 I had the option of, okay, yeah, come and join me. Or come and work. You understand? It was that, yeah, come and work. As it says, and then he started making money. And then from there, he also he moved to development and all of that. He liberated himself. So I think that's a better approach than the way we just go about it. That we keep impoverishing them. I think it's a poison. The money we give them over and over, if we see it as a poison, we think of a creative way to do it.
And I think it falls into this idea that I believe that we are living in a future we cannot afford, which is like we are borrowing so much money from our future to even pay our
Exactly. Sometimes we borrow even the money we want to actually even give them, not even the fact that we even really have them. So I think we think of it in a creative way that, okay, wait, maybe I should get them a job. If we think of it in that way.
Many of these parents are not ready to work. In fact, I hear of one woman that took his son to go and lay Yahoo so that boy will start giving him money.
Able parents.
You understand?
That's why this model that I'm talking about. I don't work for a distant parent, a bedridden parent. You understand? So I don't have answers for that one. But for parent that is able, I think he needs to say, Odajulo. I think there's a sense of audaciousness.
What do you think?
That you really need to.
This is a very complex question. Even for myself, I think it's true that it's complex. And there are no easy answers for hard question. The hard thing about the hard thing is that there are no easy answers.
So, like,
where do you want to? How do you rationalize this?
Like, according to Josh, he said, there's no easy answer to this. There's what we call black tax, right? Which means, let's say somebody travel out now, out of Nigeria. People at home will be expecting you to be raining money on them.
Just because you got there last week, 2 months ago. Even in 1 year, so many people are not grounded in 5 years. They have not found their foot in 5 years.
You've collected UK prison.
They believe you are in the UK or US. You are earning the superior currency to what's
currency for that matter.
So at least they expect you to at least be sending something home, right? To dropping off their own share of the UK palliative, the US palliative.
Forgetting that these children are competing with children that their parents have set up $10,000 monthly, remuneration for them. Children that their parents have set up, what do they call that thing? Trust fund for them. Children that their parents are giving them their first car.
And at the end of the day, these people end up living paycheck to paycheck because they have to send money home by Friday, or else people at home they'll starve, they won't eat because they are no longer working. They are relying on the person abroad to be sending money. So let's say the person paid water bill, light bill, and phone bill, and black tax money. What you have left is nothing. And people struggle for years keeping up with their lifestyle. At the end of the day, they'll later realize, what have I been doing in this place? Meanwhile, all the money meant to be saved and invest in other businesses are what the person is sending back home to as black tax. So for me, I think use your head. Use your head. That's what me I would say. Use your head.
Use your head is not a good formula, but I will leave you for that because it seems like you said don't have an answer. But it seems that John is grounded in Christian theology. What do you have to say? Is there a framework? Christian framework? Honor their father and their mother so that your days are last long on earth.
Oh no, it doesn't mean you should be feeding your father.
It doesn't mean you should be paying black tax.
It doesn't say that. No.
So what does it say? What do we have?
What do we have?
What can we do?
For me,
where do we say no? Yeah.
One thing I think this question is one thing that confirms the kind of family that you have. One, first, if they are expecting you to be funding them, that's a category. Two is if they are not going to even understand what you are talking about, even have empathy for you. That's another category.
Okay.
So, of course, there is a category that they are. Davido if he's saying the sponsoring him father. No, Davido cannot say he's sponsoring him father, even if with all the money that he might have had. So there are some people like those ones are on a separate link. But there are people that
the funny thing is that they don't tend to compare themselves to those parents.
Yes.
They tend to compare themselves to even poorer parents. They tend to compare themselves to, different kind of weird thing that justify what they're asking for. It's so ridiculous.
So now the question of empathy, because now the
I even see it to the point that if you are dating some people's daughter, automatically you are qualified for billing.
Boyfriend-in-law. That's what you are.
Son-in-law who give you boyfriend. You are son-in-law automatically. Son-in-law in the future son-in-law. Future son-in-law. There's this thing in JavaScript and in Flutter that you have future. You declare future something that is asynchronous. You get it in the future. You are a future son-in-law. It doesn't mean you cannot give that right now.
You call something PhD in view. Maybe this one is son-in-law in view.
In view.
So for me, I think this is what you have to consider. Now, I think we have to talk more about these things. Because it is a normal thing. It has become a normal thing. I believe if we talk about it more, and then there are more awareness, people would start to change, even if it is gradually.
Do you know that this is one of the reasons I'm kind of justifying God killing most of the Israelites before they enter the promised land,
so that they will not come with the
old thinking. Because how many parents are watching this kind of podcast? How many parents are ready to listen to young guys like me complaining about about the fact that they should not take money from their child? How many people, even young people, are going to watch this with open mind enough to understand that their parents demanding certain things of them is not justified, whether morally, legally, or any ground? It's not. You see comment under this video, particular video, whether in short form or in long form, people saying that we are talking trash, that it's until we lost our pain that we understand what is going on. That is this is Africa, is whatever. Many people can't. I don't understand. I'm not seeing the way forward. And as such, parents of we that were enlightened enough to see the light, to see that no, if I try to say my parents should rely on me, right? It means that at one point in the future I will be saying I will rely on my children. So if my children are feeding me, is it the money that my children are using to feed now used to feed my parents? And if my parents are still alive, would they be using the money that my child is giving me, that I'm giving my parents, to feed their parents? We will just be persisting poverty. Exactly. Because no matter how much the money in the front end that this guy is making, it cannot be enough to sustain how many generations.
And to bust your bubble, right? If you try, because I've attempted it before, if you try to say, it worked with my brother, a productive way of going about it. But for parents, say you sell money, they should establish a business that will solve their problem. It will amaze you that they will use it to solve family.
Do you know what they call the amazing Spider-Man? There are many webs.
So, that was my initial thought. He didn't solve it. I sent huge amount and he didn't solve it. I think it was even church that, through church, they were able to solve the issue, and then they were no longer depending on me. So, the church solved it, actually. But then, myself, I was not able to solve the family on the one because I didn't control the variable. I didn't control the so it's a really difficult solution for parents.
So what I'm saying is that about the empathy part, because the problem is that we have this compassion that they are my parents. Of course, there are people that you have grown up with. It is very hard for you to watch them and suffer. Now, I think it is very easier for me to say if your parent their issue is not about food. You know, it gets crazy like that. That it is about
some
food.
people they are not eating.
So even the mental health to be able, the mental toughness to be able to.
No, I see keep talking about, that they are not eating at home. It's kind of very funny thing.
The mental stress that you have to go through because you know that some people are not eating, the people that you care about, because you care about them in the first place. You care about them and they have not eaten. It is another stress. But again, I think level. To a large extent, at least if you are on my own level, you should be able to tell them and then analyze for them that what they are doing doesn't make sense. Now, there are two ways they can accept it. It's either they feel like you are not grateful, you are a bad child, or they argue with you a little bit, but in their mind, they get what you are saying. And then it will reduce that attitude to a large extent. It will reduce that attitude and then they start to understand this more. But I think that will work for people that it's not like it's food that is their problem.
This is so crazy. 40-year-old woman is already relying on her 20-year-old daughter.
Imagine. And
that 20-year-old already give birth to one child from 5 years ago. That one's 5 years old. Very soon, that one will be around 15 again. They will be relying on that one's boyfriend. Not even that one again. That daughter's boyfriend to be bringing money home. So you are retiring by 45. You are retiring by 30 something. You are retiring by 40 and you are expecting money from your granddaughter.
I think we need to normalize it that it is a shame. Like, it's a shame that you...
No, it's a pride in Africa. It's a pride that their child is...
How will you normalize it?
Is that how am I going to normalize it?
How will you normalize
maybe
it? Someone sees that pride. You want to tend to say
there's something I like to add.
Which is
the fact that I noticed that this thing seems to be like a generational problem, a broken generational link. So this is I think I can boldly say it is an objectively nonsense practice. It's an objectively
bullocks,
useless cultural practice. But it was a cultural practice. They are now trying to change the formula on this generation. The current parents generation. And this current generation, they will feel like we've been scammed. Because imagine that when we were children, we were feeding our own parents. Of course, I'm not saying all of them fed their own parents. But many that I know can boldly say that they fed their parents, house their parents, pay for their parents, do different things
and their parents' health. In fact, they can say category is one of the reasons why they don't have a second house or first house or something. Some of them are like that.
Many can say that.
And now you want to say
no. You want to change the formula on them. They'll be like, this is like a system that has broken against them. Now, when something like that happens, there will always be blowback. But if we cannot unite to say it's not going to continue that way, these people will fight tooth and nail to continue that practice. That's always good. Even when people were taking jobs from when machines were taking people's jobs, people were Luddites. I remember that's what they called them. They were fighting with with everything in their life to keep
their job
to destroy machines. It is not.
There's this saying I'm trying to remember, which is that nobody. Nobody can sell a person on something that is going to take his job.
Exactly.
The wrong person you can sell or something that is going to take his job.
So you want to say, no, that's
we are building one solution on WhatsApp now that's automated sales on WhatsApp that when it's your customer messaging on WhatsApp, you could be able to, you don't need to attend to them. The automated system will help you attend to them, help you place their order. They will be able to pay everything. And I was saying something about, if you want to pitch this to say at 10-7 or any of the other big or McDonald's or anything that the people cannot place order for your food via WhatsApp automatically, more like a website. And I said the worst person we want to talk to in those quotas is like director of sales or something like that. You like, especially in a company where they have sales team. The last one you want to talk to is a salesperson. Yeah. It's the first person that's going to shut it down. So I think it's the same problem.
It's the same problem. So they won't. So the last week I expect that they will take it easy. They are never going to take it easy. They are going to fight.
But here's the problem I'm having. You must be willing to be the black sheep because the culture I think the first thing is that you have to recognize the barbaric culture.
So we have to realize that it is a revolution, not something. It's
not going to be a fair fight. It's
So
not going to be a simple negotiation.
It's not going to be something that you are going to sit down with people talk about. It's something that you are going to have to implement in practice, looking away. And that's the hardest part.
My younger brother just finished his NYC, and my mom was telling me about the father. When will I help support them with the church project that they were doing? That my brother has carried almost all of his NYC savings and give them towards our church. I said, I will get back to you. Me too, I'm working on many projects right now. I was that emphatic. And since then, she has not called me once. Because I was emphatic on the father. Now, it's not the best time for you to get 1 naira from me. And she took it as an offense. Which, I don't know how much she paid her own parents, because I remember her dad was a rich man. And her mom, for the most part, is her elder sister that took care of the woman for most part. There's sometimes that she took care of. So I'm not seeing someone to start billing me for something because I am successful. I won't take that. I think it's one of the reasons why I'm so confident on the fact that I won't take it. It's not as if you are scammed here. Nobody's scamming you. I'm like Chris on that one. That nobody's scamming you. It's that one. But I see that it's like the African culture. You will justify other children. That other children are not as successful as myself. They are pouring money to their parents. Other children are, there's that form of.
They will say some children have, what do they call that stuff? Compassion. You are not compassionate. I don't have that. Sorry, they not preach it to you like this. I don't have a problem with you, but I'm just saying it's not good for your life. Like you cannot continue your life without compassion.
You can easily say Nabobo. You really want to be pokey. Like they will say you want to be pokey. Right? You see, the challenge that I see for most people will be the fact that they will be a victim of their own goodness, their own empathy. You understand? That will be their challenge. Their challenge that, okay, when the parent is trying to tell them that it's trying to tell they don't have money, blah, 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 and all of that. And then they will be thinking that, wait, these parents, they sent me to school, they paid this. Yeah. For example, when I wanted to drop out, right, I fundamentally, rationally believe that was the best chess move at that point, so that I can focus on business and all of that. I realized that was the best. Then I remember that, these people, they took me to school and blah, 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 and all of that. Okay. I realized I'm not dropping out of secondary school. Can we be clear on that? Now, I'm only dropping out of university, right? Now, okay, so I thought, how much did they contribute altogether? I did the math. Then I saw entirely it was $1,000. That was what I saw. Then when I was able to come about with that, then it was like, I think I had that conversation with you.
Exactly.
Then. And then I felt the moral obligation that I have is to actually put together that $1,000 and then give them. So if I'm really empathetic about the situation, I think I should be creative enough to actually, is it pay off or to create a way out for them to be able to maybe find them a job or something that they can.
Most of these parents are not ready to. Somebody that is already that got pregnant for 15, that is retired at 45, that have child, that has grandchildren, that is expecting money from others.
How did they train you go school? In this case, how was the childhood like?
Many of the people in the trenches don't have such.
They don't have. How did they develop the empathy that they gave?
And they don't need it. They just finish secondary. They have to just tell you about the fact that you sucked your breast for 3 years. You were in their belly for 9 months. I am their father and father you. Then that's the story.
What I'm saying, okay.
Josh, the funny thing about what you are saying is the fact that you are not seeing yourself as somebody who is privileged. Because you are talking about setting up something for them. You that you have not even set up yourself.
Chef.
How are you able to say you want to set up something for somebody else?
That's true. It's a privilege argument, actually. So now, a less privilege means...
Let me tell you one thing. Toki deba dagba.
It's not a truth. It's not. I think the best thing is for you to be an odaju and accept the label. Be cool with it. If you are not cool with it,
understand that this is a
I think that would be the tax. That would be the tax.
Yeah, it's a revolution. I like that word.
There's no. I think there's no.
There are no rules.
I think
Toke teba and stuff is not. It does not exist in revolution.
I think the thing is, it got very worse in this our generation because they retire very, very early in this generation.
Exactly.
Because now, how you explain the fact that pressure are now on 20 and below. What do you mean?
Does not make any.
It doesn't make sense that a
At all.
child that is trying to figure, he himself is confused about life. Because if you are in 20s, most time you are confused about life. Like, is this how I want to be living my life? And you are sitting down there putting pressure on me again. It's very ridiculous at this age.
When I heard much older people discussing 20s, that was when I realized that, oh, I'm not living my best life yet. Possibly. If I do well. Because I realized that, okay, so 20s is not even for older people. They realize that 20s is not a time when you know what you are doing.
You don't know. Yeah, sure.
So it's not like I'm doing something wrong if I have not yet fully figured out my entire life at 20s.
No, you can't. Even your 30, you have not yet figured out your life.
So it's like, so that means
What you just end up seeing is that you look back and see the pattern of your 20s to 30s, and you see the pattern of maybe your 30s to mid 30s, and see that, oh, there's a particular pattern. I weather well during this time. I weather well doing this. That's what you end up finding. It's over 2 decades that you end up figuring out that I weather well. Like, that's how most billionaires are created in their 40 to 50 to, you know. In fact, most billionaires are created in their 50 upward. Go and check it. The average billionaire is like 50 years old.
That's why successful politicians,
And they make it in a very short time because now they can track back and see, this is how I weather. This is how I do things. And I make friends in this quarter. I find more connection like this. You know, I bet on things like that and they pay out. You know, they find it out when they weather through things. That's why I used to advise people that it's one of the reasons I don't like one of my so-called mentees that I blocked the other day. Which is like, you are in one business for 1 year. You already think you know real estate.
6 months.
You are in one business for 6 months. You already think you know this in technology. What do you mean? What do you mean you already know that place? What do you mean you want to start your own next month? What do you mean? Because you don't even know how the market weather. Not talk of you know how you will weather in the market. You understand? And now here we are with one boy that just started Yahoo 2 weeks ago. That just collected first $50. The parents already expecting the boy to be dropping rubber every month. And they were already saying they were going to curse him. Some of them will even threaten him with the fact that they will curse him. They will curse her.
If you are popular, they will go to newspaper.
I
think you must have the big
How much is 100 million? How much is 100 million? From BB. It's not 100 million they want. How much is 100 million now for crying out loud? Is it not money that we have made before? How much 100 million that's this guy collected that the parents already explained that she'll be paid? This guy literally called me and say, oh, okay, let's get land. Let's build this with pure water so that every remuneration from this is I know her first time. Every remuneration that she's getting from the pure water business, she will give it to her parents. This girl has plans. She has plans for her parents. Clear plans. And we are discussing on this thing, and I was seeing on the news that the so-called parent that me and now we are planning together to have for this parent. They're already calling her house in the newspaper that she's not dropping anything. It's ridiculous. This generation, you are saying something.
I think the problem is even all this guilt-tripping process. It's what it shows that to a large extent that maybe they don't even have your love like that. Because why you be saying you will cause me because of?
I will say this
because of why?
I will say it without any remorse. Most African parents are raising kid as an exit strategy. EXIT. Exit strategy. This is my cash out. This is how I'm going to beat negative trophy. This is how I'm going to cash the money.
I think these are the things. I think for you, if you are thinking clearly, it should be one of the reasons why you should be less emotional. Because if somebody is, as you can see it clearly that he can actually cause you just because you are not yet ready to be. You cannot. No, it's not even yet. You should not be even providing for him because it should be the one that is providing. He's your father. He has been here before you, or your mother. He has been here before you. He knows many things more than you should do, at least because he has better experience. He should not be leaving you now because you are still trying to figure things out. You don't know anything. You don't know because now you have seen him that he's a negative person now. He's not going to contribute to how you are going forward. And again, he still wants to hold you back. And then holding you back is not just the problem. He's still now threatening to cause you.
Do you know the worst part? My dad don't call me unless he has money to ask me from me. He won't call me, he won't do anything.
I think we should be less emotional.
The only thing you see that you do is forward us this long tests that every new month, you know, all those long tests, all this nonsense long tests. Somebody else types someone, you see forward there. That's what you forward to me. This long pieces you forward to me on every new month. Any other time is call me and say, Bashiru, so you say that kind of number me. That's all. That's all.
Now, I think we are like, okay, if you can build an infrastructure for them to, if you are privileged, you can build an infrastructure to it, one. If, or two, is the fact that revolution now. Show worry energy. You understand? That's what you should do. That should be another daju kala waka, right?
Exactly.
That's what I say. Okay, good. True. Now, what's our advice for bedridden parents? Does that apply? Are we keeping the same energy? I want to know.
For bedridden parents, I think the question of compassion, blah blah blah, makes it very hard because we frown. But a bedridden parent that will be in pain, and even pain will not allow them to think clearly. Even they themselves, which makes it a very, very hard murky water to navigate. You know, because I know I have a friend and I'm wishing him strength. I'm wishing him this thing. I have a friend that her mom is suffering cancer. His mom is suffering cancer right now, and he said he converted all the money he has in dollar to do operation, you know, chemotherapy and blah blah. I know of many kids that their parents are suffering cancer, and it's quite very funny. In fact, right now I'm very worried that. Me myself don't think I have enough fund to say if I have a cancer right now to handle it. Do you get my point? And I'm worried about that. Like for myself, I think like, do I have enough fund to say I have something like cancer and I could withstand, or I have something like, you know, or not even me, maybe two of my teammates have some of accident and we need to keep fending. You know, I have to worry about all of that on normally. So adding a parent's concern on that list, I think it's about this idea that you need to get out of your father's house. I don't think Abraham parents were healthy, wealthy, whatever. Even if they were, Abraham has to get out of his father's house. I don't think Jesus' parents have all the resources in the world or whatever, or maybe they are not sick. What we know is that Jesus get out of his father's house. And then we can see that pattern across board. In fact, in economies where the child did not get out of the father, at the end of the day, their father is giving like $250,000 to build Amazon. So on the surface, you know, if I'm being brutal, if I think of it as a resolution, I think the first thing you have to see is that you have to be dead to yourself. And if you have to be dead to yourself, you have to be dead to the people around you, especially if you don't have the resources. Because when you say you want to be El Shaddai, you want to save everybody, he that is El Shaddai shall die. You just die. You want to provide for everybody. You want to. So for bedridden parents, I think that navigation, that balancing is in the father. Can I afford it? It's forced. The question: can I afford it? How much will it stomp me back? You know. Does this imply that, you know, my parents might possibly die early? You know, and then keeping this money. Does it translate to a sort of return that could possibly fend for a future? Or, this is the funny tricky part. Some people will take those money and the next thing they are spending on Sean Shaliwa to buy shawarma and wig and gown. So really, those boys are not really the kind of people I'm talking to. I'm not expecting to now make the money. I'm not investing in it. All you are using to do is buy iPhone, you know, and pay from some girlfriend and go to some nice hotel and to, you know, some girls that this is the worst part. Some people will say, I'm denying my parents because they are not entitled to anything. They will not be paying for some girl's parent bill.
You know.
You are still as dumb as ever. You are not taking the money that you are not giving to your parents because you think your parents don't deserve you and they don't. You are not giving it some girl because she has a pussy so that she can use it to pay for her own parents. You did why? You are using it to have friends, host some friends in your house. Some guys used to do this nonsense to host many friends in your house. When I was in early level, I was making a mistake with Gideon. And I think that's Gideon Aduagun. That was the name of the guy. I will bring my own money. I said, Gideon, you have not collected money from home. Come, let's eat. Let's buy food at home. The first time Gideon collects good money from home, do you know what Gideon decided to go and buy? It's one of the reasons why I have about 5 guitars in this house. Gideon go and use it to buy guitar. I was so disappointed. Gideon used his own money to go and buy guitar. So, Etogo, Logbe. So that's, I think there's that balance. Because even if you are sick, what will not happen? If you two fall sick now, what will happen? If you say your parents are bedridden, that's why you want to carry all the money in the world and put it on them. You have to ask yourself, if you two fall sick, what will not happen?
I think
because it's easier for you to rationalize, oh, God give me this strength so that I can be there for my parents. Really, you have to ask yourself, what will happen? So to the extent that you can't do it, to the percentage that you will be able to do it, do for the parents that are bedridden. But to the percentage that will stomp stomp your future and will not make you have a future with your children. I think you should think carefully about it and do the math and balance. So there's that balancing in this situation. There's that careful balancing of knowing that to what extent you can
have providing for balancing here. Yeah. When it's not bedridden.
When they have leg and arm, you don't know your business. When you have leg, arm, and they are retiring as 45. They are retiring as 40 without any sickness, without any it's ridiculous. Very ridiculous.
So I think what we are saying is that nature has actually defeated you one way or the other. So but that one VAR can decide that it's an offside.
It's an offside. No, it's an offside. You can't be healthy, living, have leg and arm, and we still expecting me to be feeding you. If we decided to be feeding you, who will be feeding me? And then who's supposed to be feeding your own parents if your own parents are alive? And then who's supposed to be feeding the parents of the parents if those ones are alive? So it's supposed to be me feeding you and you using the money that I give you to feed your own parents and your parents using the money to give them to feed their own parents. Think about it now. So it's not yet for you to retire. You should be able to make your own money to the future. If you do not plan for your future, don't expect me to be your social security. That's just the truth. I will say no even to that. I won't be your social security. I'm sorry.
I think to some extent that maybe compassion, maybe if you are buoyant enough, you are this big person that have a lot of money, you are even buying things for your girlfriend like it was, perhaps you might be like, they are lost in that hope of the generational this thing that has caused them to that kind of mindset. Maybe, but if it is going to hinder your progress, if it is your seed, like you said, the seed that you want to use to grow, it's existential. Bro,
that's why I believe that at least if you cannot stop your parent in all forms to not bank on you, don't make the mistake of thinking you are going to use those things that you paid for to justify why your own children will also need to pay for your insufficiency. Exactly. So at the best case scenario, I think this is my verdict on it. Don't translate it to the future. If you think, I have to have compassion, I'm just built that way, now your problem. There's one girl that I stopped talking to, I cut off just because when I learned that she's the firstborn, she's dealing with something that's either cancer or not. They are not sure. They keep diagnosing her cancer or not cancer. She has it on her neck like that. And then thirdly, she's fending. That's why all these things that she's fending for all her siblings. Melo, she's fending for them and the parents. I just say, Top, you cannot come into this meeting because if I come into this meeting, now billing will kill me. So you understand? So at least, and I don't want a situation where I will now be translating those aggression or those expectations or those entitlement to the future. It's one of the reasons I'm trying to avoid this now. So if you cannot totally avoid it now, at least, please and please, don't translate that mindset to the future. It is stupid, barbaric, foolish culture. It needs to end. Talk it about that. We don't use to suck each other breast.
Three, listen to what people say, but judge them on their actions. 1,000, I love you, I am sorry. It's not enough to keep a cheating partner. People will say what they think you need to hear in order to keep receiving what you have to give. So it is okay to let people prove their commitment to you with actions.
What do you think? Actions over messages, or what do you call it, or over blabbing? What do you think? I think that's a no-brainer. But I think most girls love word of affirmation. Some people love it, you know. I think you used to talk about this thing about your dad when they come back to say they are sorry. Your dad will still hire those people back to work with them. Yeah. So what do you think? Action, where did the line come into? Is there any reason to consider people based on what they say, what they promise, what they? Because even the Bible says I don't need to.
Personally, I have a theory though. Let me just highlight that before I move to the which is that when people say things in anger, we should take it the same way we take what they say in joy when they are happy too. Because why we say that when someone says something in anger,
it's because
they mean it. But when that's something they mean, that you are lucky the person busted out. When they say something when they are happy, we say this person is just gassing me. So why can't we just see that these are extreme emotions and stuff? I have that kind of theory. But despite that, about words and action. If somebody is saying I love you, I love you, I love you. Okay, I was watching a video where Nicki Minaj was on call with, she got on call with Lil Wayne. And Lil Wayne was like, she was saying, I love you so much. You don't know how much and it was like, come and show me this night. And then she was like, so you can't come and show me. Go away with your love. That's just so people are comfortable with saying stuff. Like people know how to just talk. People can just talk. It does not necessarily mean they are going to act. So I think if you are going to be giving 1 mark for talk, make sure you are giving 100 marks for action. Sure. So maybe eventually, no, I don't even want 100 because that means the person can talk 100 times. You will get 100. So I want to do 1 half mark for talk, then 2 million marks for action. Maybe that's how you should be grading it. So that at least somebody can talk 2 million times. At least the person said don't try. So it's just like goal and assist. Some people want to come and gaslight you with he has 20 goals and assists. This person has 15 assists, 5 goals. Then somebody has 15 goals and 5 assists. And you're telling me they have 20 goals and assists. I don't want that.
I don't want
so goals are not the same as assists. Don't let us mistake them. So
if you want to know that goals are not the same as assists, you should go and Ibrahim Yekini, Abi Yakubu, what's that guy that used to chop chop chingom?
Yakubu
Ayegberi Yakubu.
So his goal account.
His goal account.
So he did a beautiful pass. Somebody wasted it. It's not going to count as we are not going to win that match. So assists don't count. Like the same way goals count. So don't make that mistake. So it's just something like that. Words and action. People can do, and then the fact that people say empty things. Like people will just say things and then because they know it's just talk. And then when it's time to ask, they will be like, I remember somebody that told us that said, what was the exact word? I can't remember. But I shall know that when the person heard that there's no salary, the person moved. So it's just something. So I will not mention it. So you
word of mouth.
What people can say different things. It's easy to talk. Talk is cheap. Like I have a Bible translation then that had that phrase that Jesus said, talk is cheap. So always remember that people it's easy to talk. So don't give it the same grade at all. Yeah.
No.
I think like he has said a lot about people sugarcoating things and then people easily saying things. The point is, at sometimes it is not even about the fact that they are trying to sugarcoat things. It's just their ideal. It is their ideal that they should be this kind of person. This is how they're supposed to act. Supposedly. How they're supposed to act. They have it in one mind, they're part of their mind, and then they will tell you that
I used to have a girlfriend that would say that that if she has money now, one of the things that she'd like to do is to take care of me. She take me somewhere, do this. Do you know that I've dated girls that in less than a week into a relationship, send me airtime, charge my phone, do this, do that, try to show up, send me gifts, blah, 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 do surprise. Right. This girl, I dated this girl for over like 5 years, in short periods. This girl don't have one gift, one single gift in my closet. Girls that we dated for 6 months, I see have their souvenir. I see have souvenir from the relationship. This girl don't have one single gift in my closet. But she used to create the idea that if she has money now, she would just take me out, buy some nice clothes for me, take me to one place, do this, just toy me like a baby that I am. And I keep wondering, just do it. Please just do it.
Nike.
But she will tell me, she doesn't have money like me now. She's still working now. She's still a young girl. She's just starting her career. Many of the people that I do something, they did not have all the money in the world.
Exactly.
So I'm collaborating with your communities.
Word is different from, even the idea that is in that person's head is different from how they act. So
my guys, I know you're executable.
Ideas is not even, it's different from, like me now, me. If you ask me about me and my children, I can say that ideally, I can die for my children. But really, if it's come to it, I would die. We don't know. So it is like that, even in my truest kind of idea.
Intention.
So if I'm saying it doesn't mean it is until now, and I take bullets. They want to shoot my child, and I take bullet for it.
Do them.
Wow, beautiful. This guy can do it. Awesome. But if the word,
Na by mouth.
Na lie.
Say na by pomo or na by bread.
If it is by mouth, he said he has defeated Britain. If it is by mouth, he has defeated Britain. For me, he said it now.
I remember.
Is he chief commander of Britain or something like that?
Yeah.
That he has defeated Britain. If it is by mouth, wow, well done.
Well done. That means word action. You know, people will say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cheat on you. In fact, I've seen people that you walk up with somebody cheating like this. You meet your girlfriend on the bed cheating, you say, it's not what it look like.
It's cucumber.
It's cucumber. It's not what you look like. You know, people can just manifest, you know, I love you, you know, like, I remember I was on TikTok, I was scrolling, and then there's this, whatever, jumbo in the morning or something like that. And the girl, they were asking the girl that, okay, did you cheat on the guy? It's not that simple. It's not that people just manifesting in their, you know, in their head. And they talk about nice things and they position themselves properly and they, you know, where does action fall? Where does the word fall? Do you count on people on their word?
For me, I think both holds almost the same weight. Both actions and words. Like, you know, you claim to love me and at the same time you are sabotaging me. And you also saying it to my face that I love you so much, but you are sabotaging me when I'm not in the room. So what should we call that? You know, there's this guy that used to work with us at some point in time. Though you claim that he loves everybody in the room, and you're trying to spoil the person you claim to like, you're trying to spoil the person's relationship at the back. Like going as far as DMing the person's girlfriend, that person is the bad person. Don't do. But then you claim to love that person. Why the person is in the room? So actions really matters as words too. Both goes hand in hand. For actions, there's people have grown to learn to cloak their actions that you wouldn't get truly what they are trying to do. They might be fronting to be doing good. Meanwhile, they're also doing something at the back that's harming you one way or the other. And they might just be saying stuff randomly, maybe jokingly, and they will say something. Now you pick it that, no, this is not a joke. Now this person actually meant this thing some way or the other. Let's say, okay, you're just playing with somebody. The person say, my pine joke. No, now.
Bros,
just claim you kill me someday. This is not joke. This is not the kind of play me and you do play. So, in words, you find the truth. And in actions too, you find the truth. So, both goes hand in hand for me. I rate them on par. Both are on par. For me.
Okay, so Dan Smith here is believing that both menstrual and autostrias are on the same ground. Even the law will not agree with you. Josh, what do you think?
You know, to the agnostic mind, right? Even your action, it might be misdirection. So,
okay, that's interesting.
Trust
people's action.
Talk cheap. Action, bobo. So I think there's a time that we used to do this thing that we used to do. Is it intent analysis? Why is the person like deep down? Like, why is the person even really trying to do that thing while appearing as though doing something else? You know? So there we used to tap into even the philosophy that is very likely guiding, or maybe the reality from their house and all of that. We used to do all of that to really know. I think there was a time we used to do that analysis like that. So, and I think it's kind of helpful, right? It's kind of helpful. So you should not just trust even actions for the face value. You should even try and even get deeper. Try to tap into people's philosophy.
So you are more like, okay, words is cheap. Action. Well, more expensive than what, but then intent is what you should dig for.
It's very, very
intent, because some people are so strategic. You see their action, they will sleep with you. You know, imagine that you were sitting down in a bar and then somebody come and offer you free beer and free pussy. You don't know whether they want to see your kidney.
You don't know.
You don't know whether they want to see your kidney. And then you know, or they don't know whether they want to set you up for rape or whatever. Or the case
You don't know when it's Trojan horse.
We don't know where it's Trojan horse.
Like, just before this conversation, I think last week we were talking about Matrix. I swear. In fact, it's even more difficult for me now to believe that we are not living in simulation.
Why do you say that?
Okay. So now, during last election, right? Like, you might just be a pawn in the entire this. During last election, they said we have 3 parties. We have LP, we have PDP, and we have APC that we heard that they won the election, right? I used to hear that politicians are not loyal, they are not this one, they are not that. But I didn't know that, okay, Atiku that has been in the race since 1990 something, will hire a spokesman that will be right-hand man of undercover agent of Tinubu. I didn't believe that until that happened today. The guy called Daniel Buala, the guy he collected appointment today from Tinubu. So the speculation was true at the end of the day.
That's I don't understand. So the Buala was working
spokesman
for
Atiku.
Okay, for Atiku campaign.
In the last election. Today, Tinubu has given
appointed, which means you don't get special appointment unless you are special. Like somebody said.
So we later find out that he has even worked with Tinubu before. He has worked with APC
in the past.
Yeah, on an unofficial
capacity.
You understand? So that data, that tiny data, could really could give you a huge lot of insight. It might look like conspiracy theory
in nature,
but I don't treat it as such sometimes. So that's what I'm saying. Now, wait. They said they gave this guy Obi ticket that he should be the party candidate of Labour Party. That was what we saw on paper. Now you see Doyin Okupe, he was the spokesman. He's also with this government right now. You understand? You say almost every politician is like that. Now there's a conspiracy that even the person that gave Obi the ticket, it was inspired by them Tinubu scam, so that it will actually collapse PDP Southeast structure instead of the vote going for Atiku. So realizing that even Obi that was like a figure might be a pawn in all of it. So what am I? You understand? So there is a lot to really pay attention to. Than what means the high down actions.
That's why you are saying the intent analysis
is very, 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 very.
For you to understand the strategy at play. So what is cheap? Action is cheap. No, what is cheaper? Action is cheap. Strategy is the main intent.
Exactly.
Why these people want to join our camp? Why is this guy offering a pussy for free?
Why is he giving me a ticket?
Why is this guy calling me early in the morning? You know, the other day, he gave message me, he just pick up the call and call me. And I was like, I saw your call today and she was telling me all this thing. And then I was like, what about that dress that I sent to you? Will you pay for it? I was like, I was arguing. I said, you are a Christian. She said, yes. I said, the reason you said you cannot date me is because I'm an atheist. She said, yes. I said, do you read your Bible? She said, yes. I said, have you read the part of the Bible that said, give your life to Christ, follow Christ, and every other thing shall be added unto you.
Think first the kingdom of God.
Think first the kingdom of God.
Be unequally yoked with an unbeliever.
Leave that one. Unequally you, I know I'm not care. What I said, what's it called? Think first the kingdom of God. Seek first. I think it's seek.
Seek
first. Seek ye. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. And every other thing. What is gown? What is gown in all the other things that can be added unto you?
Grand scheme of this.
So it's either you seek first the kingdom of God and every other thing that you added unto from God.
That's an update to George Billy.
Or you seek first the kingdom of Elon. And every other thing shall be added unto you. It's not hard now. It's not hard. So let's say I was telling you that strategy is a choice. And so you need to analyze what is guiding those choices. Why are people taking all this action? What's all this drama? The other day, my mom sent me potato and fried egg. I was like, let me to send thanks and everything to my mom and my sister brother. And 2 days later, I saw my invoice. So even sometimes you need to analyze the action and say, does it even fit into the umbrella of this thing? What do you think it is? That's a very wonderful insight.
Are we agreeing now that even talk is free of charge.
Free of charge.
Action is cheap.
It's cheap.
Tutu kobo.
Tutu kobo. Intent is the koko. Because the intent might worst your life off. The intent might, crash your career. Because free pussy look like free pussy until you are in court defending that you did not rape her.
Or you are connected to a tube.
Yeah,
they have already taken
your kidney. Free pussy look like free beer look like free beer. Action, she tries a lot, sometimes we just show up for you. You'll be wondering, oh God, oh my heavenly Father. It's one of the reasons I do wonder when I'm doing giveaways for some guests and I start wondering when she thinks it's free. I'm like, you call me for a free laptop. You are still calling me for a job. And then I say, what are you giving back to the prophet? You said this is in Christ.
The reward is in heaven.
My reward is I beg. Me, I'm not a Christian. Have you forgotten? Give what belongs to Caesar to Caesar. That's what I heard now.
Even if I am.
So which means even my action is cheap. In the grand scheme of things, my actions are cheap. What you should be looking for, what's my intent? Why am I doing the free laptop giveaway? Why, the other day one girl called me and started asking me for money. I was like, I said, when was that time you come to my house to visit me? When did you call me last? You just greet me on the normal day. Now you're asking me because you need audience 6K. Your own have moved from audience 2K to audience 6K. No, think about this now. So what do you think my intent will be if I give you that money? What do you think my own intent will be? Am I doing giveaway? Am I a pastor? Okay now. So action, intent, action, what are just, you should ask when you're going to a relation, what's your intent with me? What do you want to gain? What's your point? Do you just want to sleep with me? And then if both of you want to sleep with each other, it's crystal clear. So that you guys will not come back and start complaining that, you use me. Nobody use you. Now, ask the intent. Now, do intent analysis. Thank you very much for reminding me about those things. I used to do that a lot, those days. I still do it though. I think about this day, I just look at people because there's no more people I do those things. I know most people around me, I know their intent. A good intent. Very awesome intent. Many of these people that are looking at me, they are here because of money. $1 million cash out money. Don't mind yourself. Don't think they are here because of. You think we are making all this content because we like you. That's why we are giving you all this back end insight that you're supposed to use 15 years to learn. No, we are doing it because we believe that one day we'll be viral, and then you two will be able to say, let's donate to the ministry. You don't want to donate. Get out. So let's take the last point.
People don't know what they want, but they know exactly what they don't want. If you are not invited to the party, don't show. If you are not informed, don't act aware. If a girl told you are not a type, take that as truth. Stop crawling in a DM. Find someone that loves you. The world is not that harsh. Your opportunities are coming. If you love content like this,
okay, now last point. I noticed one thing, which is make me medicine. Most people don't know what they want, but they know what they don't want. So when people say they don't want you at the party or they don't invite you, don't show up there. They may not be able to say, oh, I know what I want. I notice most people don't know what they want. But they filter with what they don't want. They know what they don't like. And when they are communicating, they are not the person they like. I think you should not go there. But I think most guys used to forfeit this meal. They used to overwork themselves for a girl that don't like them. I've seen girls that we bring their free pussy for free to someone like myself. I've seen girls that we even take their so-called whatever body and they will give it to a guy that will be flogging them, beating them. But you that you are doing super, you are rushing up and give her money, you can't give it to the boyfriend. Do you not take care? Some settings, gardening, friends. What do you think? You think that is true? That's what me have observed. My personal opinion, that's what me have observed. What do you think is the case?
I think it's very true.
You have any particular experience?
If you are chasing a girl, if you are chasing the girl to a large extent, to a level, you realize that it is not like what you are chasing is the love for the girl, is the ideal of that chasing thing. So, because it will happen that, okay, the first time now that she now granted you chance of dates, then you now go on the first date, you can now find out that you don't even like that.
Get sense.
But the fact that because she has given you this hard time to get her.
Yeah, is it dopamine?
The dopamine has now changed from the fact that you like her to the fact that you want to just be chasing. And then it will suggest
it's conquest. I call it conquest.
And to conquest. And then it suggest you forgot the reason why you are even doing it in the first place. So
I think it's one of the reasons why people have post-nut clarity. You know, when you buy expensive suit and agbada to go to a wedding or to a party, and all of a sudden you discover that even the people that are there, you know, you don't like them. Exactly. The people that are doing the wedding, they don't hold you and you don't know them. They did not show up for your own wedding. They did not show up for your own birthday. Later you now have this post-nut clarity after you have wasted the money.
Exactly, and it's hurt a lot that you like. To an extreme case of what he's saying is that you bought the expensive agbada because you want to show up, and then you get to the wedding. Even the groom and the bride, they are not even as dressed as you are.
They don't even recognize you. Some of them not even serve you food. They don't even know you. They don't even reserve seat for you.
It is disappointing. And then the funny part is you will see yourself as somebody that is dumb. And you don't want to be seeing yourself like that.
Interesting. So, Tracy, because I think that's one of the reasons why you want to pick people that want to be in your company. You know, that's why you want to filter out, you know. You said you know the things that you want. And stop chasing things that don't want you.
One thing I learned recently is that I think young men, we have learned the lesson that a woman will not accept once, so you have to keep trying and stuff. And I noticed that at a younger age, guys like pursuing women. They see it as a game or something. They think it's the right thing to do to pursue women. But at a kind of age range also, they realize that people just fall into your circle actually. Not really a matter of you for pursuing women and stuff like that. So I think, I don't know if people should not go through that, because to me, I did not really go through that stage, because most of the time when I was supposed to be in those age range where I was supposed to be pursuing women and everything, I was busy. So maybe
you skip that phase.
So I skipped that phase. So I don't know, maybe it's necessary for growth or something, I don't know. But I understand that people have that concept that if you are trying to tell them as an older person that no, that's not how you should be. You shouldn't be disgracing yourself around, because they will be telling you, no, that's how it works. So that you have to, and you'll be like, am I not supposed to be
telling you how this thing works?
This is supposed to work, and they will still keep that. So I noticed that stuff. And of course, we also heard that anything good in life, you have to chase it to make it. But one thing I want you to take note of is that
guess we should die trying.
These are conscious stuff. These are conscious things. These are things that have their own decisions to make. So it's not like if you have been around people that don't like you. Okay, we already talked about it on this podcast. I remember about opposites attract. It's a big lie.
It's a big lie.
So if people that are not in sync with you and everything, most times it only causes unnecessary drama, unnecessary trouble.
And people will start complaining. And there's this problem that I see that people have, which is that they'll start saying societal standards are bad. You know, body dysmorphia. You cannot be abusing people. Why are you in the company of people that will abuse you over your body? What's your problem, Gangan? Tell me, what's your problem? You know, you pick a company where you are not welcome and you see you are complaining to us.
What are you looking for around?
And you now want them to be censored on, you know, or you want a superpower somewhere to come and censor them into acting the way you want.
Okay, I like that. So, which shows that it is in fact selfish. So, not like you are doing anything noble. So, don't make, because okay, it was seeming like this person thinks they are doing something noble. But now, I immediately mentioned it, I realized that no, even this person is not even doing anything noble. So, don't even whine yourself like you are doing something noble by...
So, for instance, now you buy expensive agbada so that I can show up at wedding, and you now expect them to respect you, to you know, they don't invite you, and you want them to
respect.
That means selfish. What you are doing is that you want to plug yourself into a community where you are not valued, and you want them to value you. Who does that now? Who does that? Who does that? It's bollock. It's bollock. It's a selfish drive, an egoistic selfish drive. You are being narcissistic, pessimistic, and everything that is possible. You are being nihilistic and all of that. Stop. It's ridiculous.
You are not the center of the universe.
You are not at the center. The moon is not following you around. No, the moon is not following you around. Josh, what's your particular experience? Because I see that a lot of people struggle with this thing, especially young people. They just want to be part of what they are not part of. They want to sit in table where they are not invited. They want to be part of conversation where they are not. They just want to plug in. They struggle so much to just be part of things, and it's like this drive. They continue, and They cry over it. Some commit suicide over it. Some say his body to small fire. Some you are not invited. Stay in your house. You are not part of this. Create your own crew. Find people that you be part of people that want to talk you down. That want to. Why?
I think the drive we are talking about is real, and is the fact that you are needy. I think that's the first part.
And the fun is not a charitable thing. They are needy and they want somebody else to validate them. And they even want it from a particular quota of people that are not interested in validating them.
You are needy. I want to talk about of it in the sense of this. I realized the most needy version of me was when I got to university. I didn't have anywhere to stay. Right? So at that point, my first thought was that almost anywhere benefits, anywhere I can see opportunity, I should just try and plug my head. This one, that. I thought that was a strategy, right? You know, strategy is about choice.
It's a choice.
But so that was my initial thought. But I also say some people don't just rate me, regardless. You understand? They don't like me. So, but at the end of the day, I saw that was strategic, right? For me, the choice I should pick was that already place where we say they like the version of me is where I get the best deal. You know, where I get the best bet. And then it made sense for me to focus on those places. For example, I realized that it's all those church people, you understand, that used to give it, they like the fact that if I quote few verses like this, they're like, boy, body. You understand my dickness and all that. And they rate me. And I find expression in that. And I started going among church people. But
no, you know what people want? They want to grow, they want to have church vibe and go to club and be respected there.
They will break bottle on your head now. They will break bottle on your head.
I don't want to quote Bible in the club now.
Club now, I beg you.
I think the worst thing that people don't know is, let me use the instance of gay stuff. Is that if you are using all this energy to chase gay, how many energy do you expect to sustain it? Because if you ask yourself that question, if you are trying so hard to get that, just trying every fucking thing you
spend all your money,
how do you intend
I remember with another level, there's this girl, you know, is it Jumake or something or whatever? We were working at this thing. What do they call it? Motion Brand. Okay. And they are selling suya close to this in Lagos hostel, boys hostel. And then this thing, they were selling orange there. And we were working together. And those are how you wear this this problem in your shoe like that. And I used to carry one bag like that. All I had on me was like 200 naira. It cannot even take me home. And then there's orange that they're selling for 15 or 100 naira. And then the suya they want to be selling for 200 or 500. If I buy the suya, I will not be able to go reach home. And then she say, brain boss, buy suya for me. I say, no. Jumake, buy orange. She say, no, I want to eat suya. I say, Jumake, buy orange. She say, no, now, I will leave you. I say, go, if you want to go. Orange is healthy. Look at this dust everywhere. You know, motion I say this thing, dust everywhere. I say, look at dust everywhere. I don't used to eat suya because of that. Because, you know, it's just, see 3 orange, 3 good orange. Very healthy orange. The bad don't get money. But since I know that she doesn't want to, you know, understand my case. I left her, me and I don't talk ever after.
You know the problem? That if you have taken that bit, you'll be in a loop. Because now, you have bought...
No, I'm not being in a loop. I will be in inside school for 3 days. I will have to they send me money from home. I have to sleep inside school.
You have to go and be begging people.
And now, or I have to be energy or energy to say, borrow me money or give me.
My point is that if you are even now slightly richer than that, if you have bought the suya, the next day, you ask for you want to buy it, and then you want to keep up because you have spent heavy before.
You set a precedent.
You have set a precedent.
You don't establish that.
That's why I always say, don't establish a pattern of expression you cannot sustain. Don't establish a pattern because if you establish that pattern of expression, people will expect it continuously from you, and they will keep pressing that button. They will keep pressing that button until you get tired, until you run out of energy. That means you have a particular experience.
On the aspect of chasing a girl. There's this popular guy on Twitter called let me not name the person here. He's a married man. He's been chasing this girl for like 4 years. 4 good years. He's been telling the girl, married man. See my love. When will you come out? The girl will say, please, I'm not your love. I'm not doing that nonsense with you. And this guy keeps persisting 4 good years.
Say let's rough ourselves one.
That's 12 months times 4.
48 months.
So it got to a point. These guys started using their screenshots to score some cheap points on Twitter. Like the guy had to run away from Twitter for like 3 months.
And the thing now pour sand on his reputation, because everybody was like, the guy said no even fine. This guy had to delete it at the end of the day, but it has even destroyed the guy's reputation. So that he had to wait till you
So when you are not welcome, don't find your own clique, build your own circle. Because I notice a big problem with young people. They want to be part of things, circles that you are not welcome. And I understand the drive. It's a fear of missing out. You think that something, the grass is always greener on the other side. When it's not, it's always glorious on the other side. The tech community are not welcoming. I need to be part of, where people are not welcoming. There's this time I wanted to reach out with one guy like that. I wanted to, mix up, to be friends with one guy on social media. And I messaged this guy, Savvy, whatever, entrepreneur, what they used to call him. This guy has like 4,000 followers then or something, or 2,000 followers. This guy was forming from you. Before you know it, I already have 51,000 followers. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? How many people who know you where? That you are forming as if. So, I did not see that as anything down. The fact that, well, you don't like me, it's no problem. I know that some people have, before I messaged them, they started shouting, blah, blah, blah. I've seen people begging me to come to their place, come and visit them, come to whatever. Many people have been inviting me, I did not go there. Now I want to link up with you, you are for me extra special. What did they do you?
The world is not that harsh.
You know, it's not that harsh. If they don't want you in one circle, you can create your own circle, or you can mix with other circle. There are more people that are willing to accept you than the one that are ready to deny you. So why must you die there? There are many guests. You see, one of the things that you can do for yourself is to push yourself. I always say this: if young men could fix the problem of pussy, they will realize whether they really need to marry or not, and we will have less divorces. You understand? Because there are more people that are ready to sleep with you without the commitment of the marriage. There are more girls that are willing to be your girlfriend for no string attached, for not asking you for money. There are stages. They say men are in sizes and whatever is in stages. Life is in stages or something like that. So you are at a stage, and there are some people that welcome you. The only thing is that for you to have an appetite that is too big from what you can cater for right now, I think that will be your problem. But the moment you realize that there's where you are, and there are people that are ready to accept you where you are, so that you can move forward, and that's life. You have won. You have won the game. They say, listen, there's this saying that said that a man that can live alone all by himself have solved 90% of half of his problem or something like that. If you can live all by yourself, you have solved majority of problems. So don't go into circle where you are not welcome. Any final note for people on all of these things that I talk about: unconditional love, saying no to your parents, deep into your clique, and keeping your steez as much as. I'm not saying you should not open doors. I'm not saying you should not look up to people. I'm not saying rejection is not part of life. I'm saying you should keep your steez. If you are not welcome somewhere, look for that alternative. There's
this part of the 48 laws of power that I think is an extreme version anyways. Like I was saying, disdain what you can have.
Yeah, hate it. Who wants it? Who wants
to go in the first place?
I've seen girls that I disqualify on the fact that their mother has, the mother has cancer. Because I don't like her anymore. Because I just find a reason to hate her. I'll just develop. Your mom has cancer. Your breast is too big. I don't like it. I'm serious. I'll just give you. There's always one reason why to hate somebody. I'm to be frank. You may look at me and say, I talk too fast, or I shout too loud. You can use that one to hate me. It's a good exit strategy. It's a good plan. At the end of the day, strategy is a choice. So, what are you choosing? You want to choose where you continue to be beat down, or you want to choose, where you are welcomed? It's very simple. Those are the facts and fabrics of life. That's why you want to have a final note.
Don't go where you're not welcomed.
Because you might be pausing there. Oh, the Lord, pepper soup.
But if jollof rice is involved, Josh.
They come on, they will have closed door. If we say no, they wear agbada. Go there.
But she they invite me, are you?
They open door.
Anybody will be JC because these people are useless people.
I don't think much, but I just know that even Christians believe that when you go and preach somewhere and they say fuck off, dust your shoe.
Dust your shoe and leave there.
about the word and this thing. Even Peter that loved Jesus, and he said that he's not going to deny Jesus.
Baba denied Jesus
3 times.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the episode 12 of Rational Dialogue. We'll meet next week. If you love this content, there are a lot of content we have done like this, Rational Dialogue, where we discuss topic and break things down like this. You can see them here. And if you want to see short segment of this post, you can see them here. I remain on the jobs, and I will see you in the next one.